This
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. This is the Mitchell County Board of Supervisors meeting here in Osage, Iowa. Meeting by go-to meeting also. There is an agenda in front of us. Are there any corrections needed to the agenda? Otherwise, I'll accept a motion to approve it. Make a motion to approve the agenda. Anderson makes a motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Ryan seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Approve the minutes of the April 18th, 2023 meeting and the claim. So when everybody's looked at the minutes, if we're good with that, I'll accept the motion to approve the minutes and the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the April 18th meeting and the claims.
Mayor's made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Purple seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Roll call, Sydney. Aye. Mike.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye. Motion carries. County Attorney General discussion.
Don't have a lot. I do know, you should be getting from me, well, probably, that's the damn thing. Probably be getting it from Becky. But, I feel like I'm sitting on the floor, but, I should be getting from Becky. I know there's that, that agreement with S&H. They paid that up, and then last night I made a few changes. She was already gone. I could have typed it out myself, but on my technology stuff, I couldn't, so she'll have to do it today. And then I know also Rachel is, I've got some documents to get to her about the ordinance up there, and likewise, I've got those on the same dictation that I can't get to, but Becky can. If I had to redo it, I would, but anyway. So those will probably be coming from her email. Might be coming from mine, probably from hers. Guess that's about all I have. I have a court hearing upstairs at 9:15 that probably should take about 3 minutes. It's an arraignment. And arraignments usually take no time much. This is a case, William would normally do it, but it's a case where I think he's got a conflict of interest because he has represented somebody involved at one point in time. So anyway, that's why I'm doing it, but it's a simple case. But anyway, so if I get up and get out of here at 9:15, that's why. Shouldn't take very long. I say that, then I never know. But if I leave at 9:15, you guys are still going, I'll probably might be back by 9:20. Shouldn't take very long, so.
Okay.
So I got specifically.
Any questions for the attorney? You're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sheriff update.
I don't have an update. Unless you
Yay.
have questions for me. I'll be gone just a few hours this afternoon. I'll be at Riverland Community College in Austin with a program with their law enforcement students. So I'll be up there early afternoon. Should be back maybe by 2:30 or 3. So if you're looking for me or whatever, that's where I'm at.
All right.
Other than that, if you have questions, happy to answer them. Anybody here has questions, I'll take them. But I don't have anything more for you.
If you don't mind, would you like to give just a brief, what you thought about the training last week?
So we went, Sydney was present, Mark was present, and Todd. Continuity of government training. It was supposed to be 8 hours. It wasn't quite 8 hours. Put on by EMA. I thought it was good training. Kind of laid out some of the responsibilities of supervisors, of sheriffs, of city councils, and mayors in times of either natural disaster or man-made disaster. Who is in charge of those events as they unfold, and essentially who pays for them. And if it's in the county, I'm looking at who pays for them. So you and I, or the board and I, will work, relatively close, because it's going to take a lot of money to wade through those things. One thing that I've learned over the years is you can't manage a disaster in the first 30 minutes or 60 minutes. It's just not gonna happen. But as time unfolds, a rhythm develops and you start to make progress and people become more and more happy with what you're doing. When there's a disaster, typically you start in public areas, clean and get public areas up and running for services, and then worry about our private sectors. And so there's crucial businesses, and I think, well, Mayor Horgan was there, and I invite you to jump in anytime I leave something out, but, you know, like fuel for cars and grocery stores and hospitals, the nursing homes, those places need to be taken care of almost immediately. And our contractors that have heavy equipment that the county doesn't have or it can support what we do have so that we can move the cleanup along much quicker. It's important to have those relationships. You have them with other supervisors, I have them with other cops, and Mayor Horgan has them with other mayors. You know, we rely on all of that to have those folks come in and help us, just like we would go and help them in, you know, their time of disaster. So I thought it was a good, you know, 8-hour program. Some of those can be death by PowerPoint. I didn't get that feeling with this guy. He came from Utah, teaches all over the world, or all over the country, and I thought he did a very good job. So if you guys have something more to that, that was my take on it. And so we train and we prepare for these disasters, and we pray they never happen.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought he kept us well attached. He was very interesting as a speaker. I thought that didn't drag on, and you know, he's witnessed a lot out there. So,
He's very good.
So anyway, yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thanks for mentioning that. Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, county engineer update. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped, I'm sorry, department, department head discussion, I apologize.
Go ahead,
I
Nina.
have something.
Yes.
Over the weekend, I had a Board of Adjustment member, call me because he wanted to let me know that he is moving out of the county, which then does not make him eligible to be on a Mitchell County Board of Adjustment. So he wanted to let me know that, and he wanted to tell me that he's resigning, so we need to find somebody to fill his position. I figure we do it sooner rather than later. His term was gonna be up anyways, in November, so I figure the new person would just have their term start as soon as possible, and then just do 5 years from that November date when his original expiration would have been. So, I just wanted to make you guys aware of that we did have a resignation on the Board of Adjustment, and we will need to find somebody to fill that position.
How many males and females do you have as far as, do we need to find a male or female or what?
With his resignation, I believe it's even right now.
So it wouldn't make any difference.
I don't think so, no.
Okay,
I can double check on that, just
Okay.
because,
we're supposed to try to target
yep,
gender neutral, so.
yep, and I can, I'll double check. But, yeah, and I don't know if we wanna look in like the same township area, but, it was closer to Douglas, East Lincoln, Burr Oak area. That's where he was located, so maybe somebody in that area just to fill the position, it's just a suggestion. So that way we have more spaced out members all over the county.
Is it pretty well spaced right now in regards to where people live and areas?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, he had an Osage address, but I think he more so represented like the Riceville, like southern Riceville area. So, but again, I can double check on that and just make sure that it's spaced out properly.
I might have somebody in mind.
Perfect.
I'll let you know.
Very good.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
and you wanna talk about?
Oh yeah, so, on Friday, we had interviews for my position, for when I'm gone, and we did offer, the job to an individual, and she accepted, so I just need, I'll get put on the agenda for next week, because I'll need board approval for, you guys to approve the zoning side of the job, and this Friday, we have a Board of Health meeting, and they will be hopefully approving the environmental health side of the job, so. Just wanted to let you know, I'll be on the agenda next week for that approval. If you could write that down, Lindsay.
I got it.
Thanks.
Very good.
That's it.
Any other department head discussion? Okay. Now, county engineer update.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I guess we have a couple things on the agenda. First, I'll start off with, we're going through some pre-planning for equipment for next year, so we're looking at several different mower options, and we still have that motor grader that we got our name on, so trying to figure out budget-wise on that. So we're working on getting some local quotes for some local pieces of equipment we're looking for, and then what we're looking at is roadway mowers and a long arm brush cutter mower. And so trying to figure out the best options for those, and then maybe looking at skid loader. We'll look at the budget and see when things are starting to get expensive as they are. Our pocketbook isn't as big as our needs sometimes, so just what we're going through there. So just a quick update on that, plus closing out some projects. On the agenda, we have discussion and action of 10-hour days. So I know that Glenn is here representing the guys, or maybe just here to listen. I don't know.
Okay, you had comments last week?
Just,
So,
you know, it's always been a decision by the board, whether or not to allow the guys to work 10-hour days. Their proposal was it 6 to 4:30, Monday through Thursday, not the whole, which was really kind of confusing. The one year we tried to accommodate everybody to get representation 5 days a week. That kind of was a disaster when we had a few guys doing Monday through Thursday and then some doing Tuesday through Friday, a couple doing 5 days at 8 hours. It was kind of a quagmire. So just they're trying to propose just the normal 10-hour workday again. Last week we kind of discussed where I felt it's not my decision to make. I'll accept whatever you guys want to do for the union, but I just discussed that I always kind of thought we needed Friday representation just because of things that happen during close to weekends and things like that, that it's always nice to have people on staff ready to act if we need something done, versus calling in on overtime. So it's always difficult because I know that on 10-hour days when we're doing culvert installs and we're doing ditch cleaning and things like that, you know, a 10-hour day, you get more done in a day. It's still 40-hour week, but you know, if you're putting in a pipe, usually it only takes a normal day, but I guess depending on if you run into issues, you could have you don't want to have a road closure overnight, but I don't know that that's happened too often at any rate. So that's just where I stand with the 10-hour days. Like I said, I'll accept it, however you guys want to award it. But it's ultimately your guys' call since you guys have the contract with the union. So
we were gonna think about this for weeks. The board got any comments, questions?
I had 2 people reach out to me and rather go 5 8-hour days. And I was leaning with Rich, I think we should have people there on Fridays when something happens for the weekend. So I would be leaning.
we've had 10-hour days for quite some time. Back and forth, it just, I don't know. I look at it from an aspect of, it's hard for me to you know, production versus the accumulated time off and things like that, and how that all works out in the end. I kind of discussed my concerns last week on the relationship between that. So it's just up to you guys what you guys want to do for 10-hour days. So
Any other questions?
I guess I just listening to Rich last week, it's his department. And if he feels that we should cover 5 days, I think we should just go ahead. I get it from the last time we discussed it, I had a lot of workers call me and, not too many of them were like demanding anything. They just said they'd like to do this or like to do that. And I kind of feel, if you feel we should.
I understand their angle for, I know a lot of times they're out plowing snow all hours of the day in the winter time, and sometimes they have their weekends disrupted, they have their holidays disrupted. I understand that giving that up isn't very fun for an employee. Two things I'll say, and it sounds harsh, but number one, coming to work for the county, that's kind of a thing you might understand as you get into plowing snow, that's it's something that could happen. Number two, that you are reimbursed for that time. So I get it, you can't get those days back. So I'm fully aware of the reasoning why the guys want to do 10-hour days, and I'm not against that. I just look at it from a different angle of providing service.
My question is, we are all here to serve the public, and the road department needs to prep the roads for what's best for the public. So my question to you is, do 5 days best serve the public for maintenance of the roads, or do 4 10s?
In my opinion, if we're looking at maintenance of roadways, I believe the 5-hour days, or the 5 days is better service, just in the event that, and I've said this before several times over the years, and you could argue both ways with, it rains on Friday where you can't get anything done, but if it rains on Thursday, if it rains on the typical time to blade roads and the optimum time with moisture, especially when we get to these drier summers, you can get a rain one day and the next day we're throwing dust already. Regardless of whether we get over every route, and then we won't get over every route today, but getting some miles down while the moisture is still in the road is probably key. And we could miss 3 days of product. Well, I mean, we always miss the weekends anyway, but we could miss that opportunity on a Friday or whatever it would be to get at least some miles straightened up with moisture. That's my feeling, and I know it's not a popular thought at all, but it's just kind of the way I feel when we have gravel roads and stuff to maintain, that we miss some days. And like I said, the argument can go both ways. If it rains on Friday, well, then we don't have, we can't do anything anyway.
And this might sound harsh too, but when you interviewed those people, you told them that they'd be working nights and weekends.
Yeah, that's always discussed in the interviews, that there's going to be.
So they knew it was coming.
Yeah. So, and they also knew in the interviews that there's always a possibility that 10-hour days are available if the union votes on it and the board agrees to it. So it's a give and take.
Is there a motion from the board in order to approve 10-hour days? Motion dies for no, their action dies for no motion, so. Review of possible action on professional services agreement for the 105 bridge construction.
So what you have in front of you, and I kind of discussed this last week, was with our staffing we have currently, we need certified individuals to work with our contractors and the DOT to do inspections when we build, specifically our bridge on 105 this year. We're trying to get guys trained. But with WHKS being the engineer, it's easy for them to be our eyes and ears on the project. We will put Bill out there too, so he can kind of gain some experience with construction inspection as well. The professional service agreement is from WHKS for an estimated fee of $79,000 based on 540 hours, which is based on the working days of the contract. I kind of think that because we will have an individual handy, that we won't probably use all those 540 hours for them, but it also includes uploading information in Doc Express And we'll probably try to see if the DOT allows us to, since we're working hand in hand with WHKS out on the sites, we're kind of doubling up, but we need to train somebody to be able to go through that. And with having somebody on site, we may be able to reduce the amount of time that they need to do to put stuff in Doc Express, or we'll be working with the Appia program to get that stuff downloaded and proper. So it is kind of it's an expensive service, but it needs to happen in order for us to be compliant with federal requirements and everything else. So I'm going to recommend that we award this professional service agreement for construction inspection. I don't know if you guys have any specific questions on anything in the contract itself, but I don't think it's going to be specifically full-time yet.
What's the expected closure time for this road, from start to finish,
No, I don't.
estimate?
I haven't talked to the contractor yet on how long it's going to take to do the work. I'm going to guess it's going to be it'll be like, I don't want to say, I mean, I can't even remember what the actual, I don't have the contract in front of me to find out how many working days it is.
It's on 540 hours, like, is that
That's, their hours are based on 540 hours, but I don't remember what the actual contract working days were. Pardon me?
10, 11 weeks, it's gonna be that long?
At least.
Oh, it is.
It's gonna be, it could be, depending on when they start, I mean, it could be 3 months. I mean, it could be.
Oh, it could be that long.
Remove the whole thing.
You gotta remove the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
it'll be a long project. It won't, but bridges tend to take longer than
Yeah.
culverts do, and being on a major
I've had some
highway.
public ask me how
Yeah.
long it's gonna be closed.
And it could go faster than we think too. I just know that, the last bridge we did out on the Y Bridge, that one took quite a while, and that was a staffing thing, I think, from, contractors are busy and they're having a hard enough time finding, just like everybody else, right? Have a hard time finding employees, so. But yeah, it's hard to say, and I'm sorry, I don't have the contract in front of me telling me how many working days it is, but.
Yeah, I just wondered. If the 540 hours was based on.
They based it on, I don't think they're basing it on full-time inspection. They've got part-time inspection, I kind of request, you only need to be there when there's something important going on, otherwise we can cover it, before they cover anything up, when they're pile driving, things like that. If they're just removing a bridge, they don't need to stand there and watch them remove a bridge or anything like that. We can kind of take care of some of that stuff, or some dirt work things, so.
Okay, I just.
Is there a motion to approve professional services agreement for the 105 bridge construction at $79,000?
I'll make a motion.
Martha makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Anderson seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Roll call, Mark,
Aye.
Sydney.
Oh.
Aye. Jim,
Aye.
Todd,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That's all I got for you this morning.
Thank you.
Any questions for the engineer?
Back.
Yeah, Jim will need to sign that deal.
Thank you. You want it signed immediately here? You can take it with
You can email it later too.
Okay.
That's fine.
Just out of curiosity with this project and with Bill being new, will you periodically send him out there? And
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I just happened to get an email yesterday that they're opening up another Appia training program, or another Appia training session in Grinnell Thursday, and otherwise we won't get him into training until fall. So I want to get him down there because that's one of the key things. As far as inspection goes, I think Bill's pretty intelligent as far as figuring out plans and looking at how things are built. He's been around it long enough to know. So, but yeah, we'll be sending him out. He'll be looking at things and kind of tag teaming. So.
I just want me learning right along.
Yeah, and I'm working on setting up an interview for a college student too that's graduated in May. Don't know how that'll go yet.
Is that just for the short term?
No, that'll be trying to,
Hopefully longer.
yeah, bring him in staff.
Where will the detour go for that?
I believe the detour goes down Balsam, then across on 420th and back up to St. Ansgar's on Foothill. And yeah, we're paving Balsam this year too. So hopefully they don't interfere with each other, but the nice thing about Balsam is that it's not a full closure, it's pilot car closure, so. It'll be a nice orchestra of traffic control, so. But we'll get those things done.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay. Approved recorders quarterly report. We have, record management fees of $415, total amount paid to county treasurer of $23,655.30. Is there a motion to approve that?
Make a motion to approve the recorder's quarterly report.
Blair makes a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Henderson seconds. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
Roll call, Mike,
Aye.
Todd,
I,
Jim,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Cindy.
Okay, meetings attended. I had a few last week, so I attended the Winter Soil and Water Conservation District meeting. Topics they discussed, one is that as far as bobcats in the state of Iowa, and there are bobcats in Mitchell County, there's been a number of sightings of them. Talked about that a little bit. They want to put up some signs to designate the Rock Creek watershed to be placed on private property, not on the DOT right away. And they're estimating there's going to be about 600 or 700 acres of cover crops this year being put out. They went out to the Ramsey farm. That's their kind of demonstration farm where they advertise everything that they stand for. Part of it is timber. They planted 50 bur oak and 50 black oak trees. That's pretty much on that. And the executive committee for NIACOG. So they're trying to find work for as far as dispatcher and planner and drivers, and they're having good luck doing that. It's going around. The transportation manager, that's one of the hires that is confirmed. Let's see here. That's pretty much that for that, I think. And then had North Iowa Juvenile Detention meeting. And again, there's numerous problems in detention centers, correctional problems. It's just a tough place. I had a tour of the facility. It's a nice facility. And they've been accepting referrals from Central Iowa Detention, and usually they get some of the more, North Iowa gets some of the more challenging individuals because they're rejected from being admitted to some of these other facilities. But North Iowa is willing to take them. They're finishing construction on the brownstone building, and what that's going to be is for after youth leave central detention, some of them need a place to go. The brownstone facility is going to be a place where they can go for a longer time to get better. And that facility is going to be listed on the Iowa Mentor website in the state of Iowa, so people are aware of it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So that's all I had.
I attended that training that Sheriff talked about, and my first training was very good, very informational. Sheriff did a really good job discussing it, so I won't go into great detail.
I didn't have any this week. I had nothing.
I had a kind of economic development meeting, treasurer's report, quite lengthy directors and assistant directors report. They've been very busy. We had a good report on our annual audit. I believe there was nothing. And that's hard to believe that, I think the auditors are just like DOTs when they pull you over, they're gonna write, yeah, but that's interesting. We have one new applicant for RLF loan, and also a derelict and infill lot, application, discussion on childcare. And that was it. And for my meetings on that training we had, I, for one, I won't speak for the rest of them. Did you know that we are a come-to board when a disaster happens for different, it's like the incident command is number one or whatever, and then we fall in there. You remember where it is? But anyway, they come and ask us, do you remember that, Keith?
I was up on the second floor with Bob most of the time.
Like I said, the board of supervisors are, at some point, we are a go-to.
Yes.
What were you coming to us for?
So when I talked to Chris, we had, one night we had those big storms and tornadoes were coming in. I said, I will have to call them. I said, I will have my phone on me if anything happens. And he said, anything that happens, it won't be just me, it'll be all of us. That we will all be called in if there's any kind of situation going on.
Good.
So,
I had no idea.
yes.
He even asked one of us, and I said, I had no idea.
So I thought it was just me because I was on that board, the EMS board with them. And he said, no, that we all would have to come in and make decisions.
And then delegation comes after that.
Yep.
And I suppose like the sheriff said, we control the money, so to speak, and if something happens, we need to gather to approve that, yeah, go fix that for
Mhm.
this amount of money, probably.
So if there's any natural disasters, flooding, tornadoes, anything that went on, we would all be brought in.
City
I got-
and they have to
City,
step up
yeah,
for
yeah,
financials on
so.
That's interesting.
Kind of like a fire truck, hopefully you never have to use it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we never get the call.
Yep.
Not trying to shirk duties, I don't mean that, but you know, hopefully there's never an emergency where that has to happen, I guess is what I mean.
Anyways,
That's all I had.
Manure management plan.
All right, looks like there are 4 of them here for Friesen Farms. 2699 390th Street, Osage. 2059 420th Street in Osage. 2281 410th Street in Osage. And 2552 410th Street in Osage.
Thank you. Public comments. Anything from the public?
Classes, we have one derelict application, and so you'll see that on the next agenda for next week. And then in the meantime, I'll get the application out to you guys, so you can look at it ahead of time as well.
Perfect. Anything else? Meeting is adjourned.